So hi everybody once more. This is Martin for CG Tuts Plus, and in this video I'm going to continue modeling the high poly of the machine. So the first thing I do here is fix up some of the elements at the back, adjust the proportions, and just make it look more realistic, more like it's in real life. So I position those vertices there at the back, just a bit down. And in this video we're going to move onto some of the top elements of the machine. But first I'm fixing up my element at the side here. I'm just playing with the proportions, tweaking it a bit. As you can see, I've moved that edge just so my corner there will be more soft, more rounded. You can see me switching from 1 and 2 iterations of the mesh smooth modifier because sometimes I need to look my geometry, how it's going to be rendered, and that will be with 2 iterations. But most of the time when I'm modeling, the high poly count is not helping, and it's even slowing down the process, so I switch back to 1 iteration. And now, as you can see, I've isolated the middle part of the machine. Make a connection there and move it up. As you can see, we're going to make that squarish, maybe rectangular shaped element that's part of the main body. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm going to select those polygons, switch back to perspective view, and extrude this selection here. And we're going to try and match it as close as possible to the reference image. So yeah, I'm thinking I should bring that back a bit. So now I've deleted that front polygons, and again, using the edge border selection mode, I'm going to create all the detail that's necessary here. I'm trying to match the two sides of the element there. Okay, continuing adding the detail. Here in front of this element, we're going to have to create 4 holes for boats. I guess that maybe you unscrew that part here and you take it off, and you do something in the machine, as I told you before on some of the other parts that have doors or boats like that. So I guess it's something they're all together, for the maintenance of the machine, so that could be done. They all can open. So yeah, we have to create those boats, as probably it's an important part. What I just did here was add a few connections to that element here, because we need to harden the edges. So what I'm doing here is using the cut tool to go ahead and make that side cut for that element, and this will help get a harder edge. And now, yeah, I'm struggling with this cut tool here. As I told you, Max sometimes does things like that. We have to look at the right angle and cut on small portions like I did now. I've created the middle edge here, but I haven't cut it all the way to the end there. So that's what I'm trying to do now, but it doesn't work. So at the end I'm going to select the two vertices and hit connect on the side view there. So now I'm going to continue cut my way to the end of the machine. Okay, like so. I'm going to ring select all of these edges there and make a connection just about there. And now I'm going to connect those two vertices, and as I apply the mesh smooth, yeah, we have a small problem at the bottom there, but it will be fixed now. Ring select all these edges and make a connection. Sorry. And yeah, you see a little shading problem there, but as we switch back to two iterations of the mesh smooth modifier, everything is looking good. So that means that there's nothing left for us to do to harden the edges there. So we're going to go ahead and start making the holes for those bolts there that we talked about. So as I told you, we're moving on to the top elements here. I've detached that box there, and I've centered the pivot, and right now I'm going to start edit it, just so it takes the shape of that top element you see on the reference picture. So at first we're just moving around the vertices of the box itself until we get the shape we need, and after that we start making that simple box a high poly. So I start now by ring selecting the side edges and connecting them, and with the new edge I'm going to use an extrude here. I'm just going to fix the values a bit. Okay, so I'm going to add a small chamfer here. Oops, I made a mistake there, but yeah, that's the edge. So yeah, a small chamfer. Now I'm connecting the other selection here, ring selection inside the hole. Also connecting the front there. Do the same on the side, but first actually we're going to add single connection there because we have to create that hole. So I've selected the faces there that I'm going to make the hole of, and I will delete them now. As you see, there's a small problem there. These edges are intersecting, so I have to go all the way down and make sure that they don't intersect, like so. Pull them apart. Okay, do the same here. Yeah, that's looking good. So now we're going to proceed and start making the hole here. I'm just adjusting those vertices there as well. I'm going to make them straight using the scale tool. Okay, so now I shift drag that edge there, and I'm going to start off and target weld all those vertices there. Yeah, like that. I'm going to continue doing that, shift dragging to the side, and then welding the vertices all the way to the end. So I'm not going to tell you every time that you need to shift drag the edge here. So just continue doing so to the end of the element. So right here I have to select the side edges as well before I proceed to the shift drag. Yeah, I've selected them both, and now I've used the shift drag option. Okay. So again, using the shift and the drag, I finished off that part there, I mean the bottom on the bottom polygons. So I'm going to use the same technique here to make the sides as well, to cover them up. Okay, target weld there, also on the other side. I'm selecting all those edges there with ring select. I'm going to create two segments and pinch them apart 99%, and I'm going to target weld those end vertices together like so. Okay, all that's left for me to do now is do the same thing for the other side. Just bring that side up because as I can see on my reference, you know that that part here is positioned, over that the other one. So I'm making another extrusion here to that edge we just created. Again, chamfering and connecting the sides of the hole. Adding a few connections. Okay, so now we can shift drag those edges at the bottom, and we're going to start target welding all of these together. As you can see that I don't have the right number of vertices there. I'm beginning to think here that maybe I've messed up this part and I should delete some uh, sides of that element. I'm going to remake them again. I'm trying to do something here, but it doesn't work. Yeah, as you can see, I have a lot of vertices that are not welded as they should be, and yeah, I'm surely aware now that I've messed up this part. Yeah, I'm trying some connects here. Okay, I'm trying to move those to the side there. So now I believe that we're going, yeah, we started deleting everything we just messed up because I'm going to remake it. I guess that that way didn't work, so I'm going to try a new approach. Yeah, I was hoping that I can save some parts of this one, but actually, yeah, I have to delete that as well. And as I told you before, I'll start another way now, a different way. So I'm just closing the sides of that box or that element here. Welding all those vertices together. Yeah, there's one edge I forgot to remove, and also on the other side as well. So select the edge, select that edge, and um, control and backspace delete it. So now, yeah, I deleted that front polygon. There was something wrong with that. We've pretty messed up that element here. But now I'm just looking around thinking how to approach this. So yeah, I'll move only those edges there, shift drag them to the top of the other ones. Also add another extrude there, and I'm going to do that same thing for the end edges there, and selecting those vertices, I'm going to bring them down, the whole whoop actually. I'm going to bring it down like so, and all I have to do now is close the hose. I'm just tweaking that a bit. So yeah, I am closing the hose here by selecting the edges that I need and shift dragging them to the other side. After that, I'm welding all the vertices. Okay, so I'm just closing the hole, and I'm going to cap that face there. Okay, just thinking what should I do first. Okay, so I move those vertices a bit to the right. So I select all of those edges there on the side, and I make a small chamfer there. Weld those vertices at the ends that need to be welded. Okay, so I'm ring selecting all of these edges. Control click on the polygon mode, turn the selection to polygons, and hit delete. Cap the two ends, and now I'm going to start hardening all of these edges here using the connect tool, of course. Okay, here we need only one edge at the top, and we need one here at the bottom. Continue doing so for the rest of the body. So here's again that polygon there extruded. Now we're hardening the edges again here. Okay, so I think we got everything. So we're going to pass the mesh smooth modifier in the stack here, and as you can see, everything's looking good this time. Okay, so now I'm just going to fix up the positioning here, and now we're going to start adding detail here to this element. I'm just looking around a bit to see if everything's alright. So now I move to the front view and isolate only the new element we created, and I'm going to use a cylinder here to help me cut a hole in the, cut the shape of the cylinder on the side of this element. But again, we're going to need only half of the cylinder, and everything else to the bottom will be straight. So I start cutting here. Okay, and as I told you, we only need half of the cylinder. And I make another connection down here. Okay, I start cutting down there, right about there. Do the same on the other side. So now I'm going to continue the cut all the way to the back, and also at the back and at the top, and I'm going to connect it again with the top of the cylinder there, the cylindrical shape that we've cut out. Okay, continue cutting to the top. Yeah, I'm going to ring select those edges there, make two connections, and I'm going to use those connections to connect those edges at the bottom to the cylindrical shape cut that we made. I'm just going to position those vertices there and make the cut. All that's left now is the middle vertex there, so we're going to make a connection at the bottom and make a few cuts, and we're done. Okay, yeah, we also need to make another connection on the side, because as you can see, those side polygons there are actually n-gons. They have more than 4 sides, so we need to make them four-sided. That's why we cut in the middle. Okay, so I've selected the front polygons and extruded them, and now I'm adding a few connections to make my shape harder. Okay, that may not look that well, but as you know, we're going to use the 2 iterations of the mesh smooth for the render. So I did try it now. I saw that there's a small problem uh, on one of the sides there, and I'm going to fix that. But first I want to space those edges better. That's why I select all of the edge whoop and deselect the ones that I don't need. Okay, this should be looking better. And now we have to weld the vertices there at one of the ends. You can see that it's not looking good. So I select them and I make the welding there. So yeah, now that's looking good. We have to make a hole in the middle there of that element. Okay, I'm just looking around my model. Okay, just fixing up my edges here. I'll make the two cuts. Yeah, actually I've decided that I'm going to create that shape at the bottom of my element. You can see on the reference here. So yeah, I've decided to go there. I'm going to start with a cylinder here. And I'm going to make another cylinder because you know that's the shape. It's like two united cylinders with a small bridge at the bottom. So I'm start I'm starting cutting I'm start to cut actually my shape here. Okay, doing the same for the other cylinder. I'll delete the inner vertices, and now all that's left for me to do is connect the vertices that you know that needs to be connected. Okay, like so. Okay, now so I'm just trying to select all the side uh, edges around the holes, and I'm going to make a connection there. I'll have to delete those two polygons there. And I'm going to start creating that shape now. Okay, I've deselected only I left selected only the edges I need to go and extrude one of the sides there. Okay, so now I'm going to extrude the other one where it needs to be extruded. So I'm going to have to close the hose now. So I'm selecting that side edge here. I shift drag it to the side, and now I'm going to connect it with the vertices on the other side. And now I'm using the cut tool to create to recreate that cylindrical hole, as you see there. And I'm making the cut all the way to the side, and as you can see here, the holes are cylindrical again. We managed to recreate that shape. So we have to weld those vertices and make the final extrusion to close up the hole. Border select those edges. And use the scale and the move tools to, create the shape that's needed here. Either look at your reference or see what shapes I do here. Okay, so that's looking good now for those shapes. I'm just adding the final connects there, and testing everything with the mesh smooth. Yeah, I think that's looking great. I mean, it doesn't even you can't even know that from this element it's cut from this element, so we know we've done our job right. Okay, so as I told you before, we'll have to create the cylindrical hole at the side of this part here. As always, I'm starting with a cylinder. And I'm going to cut along the edge here. Okay, so I'm going to connect the final vertices. Like so. Okay, delete the inner vertex, we don't need it, and delete the cylinder. At the end, select the border edges and create the hole here that we need. Make a small scale at the end and bring everything back. And I'm going to recreate that metal cylinder part that's coming out of this part here. Again, simply by using the scale and the move. Okay, almost finished here. Just one more extrusion, like so. Kept the final polygon there, and make a few cuts just so that everything is in polygons there. I mean in four-sided polygons, of course. Add the connections we need. Okay, I think that's looking good. So we can go ahead and move to the next part. But first, of course, we will need to move that side, that bottom, hole a bit to the side there, because it wasn't showing all that well. Okay. So I'm going to use that bolt from that other element here, and I'm going to center its pivot, position it properly where it should be, and use the scale to create it, the size I'll actually need for this part. Move those vertices down. I'm going to scale everything up and try to position it exactly where it should be. Move that in. And make a few copies. Actually, yeah, there are only 2 copies. And finally I'm going to attach them to the main part. Okay, just thinking what should I do next. And I've decided that I'm going to start editing the pole. First I'm just positioning that top element there, just so it seems better. And now I move those top vertices of the pole, and I'm going to create all those elements that on the pole in some way. And first I'm going to start with a cylinder. made from the top view. I'm going to make it bigger and position it properly on the pole. I'm just going to move it down a bit, that polygon, to make the side hard, the the element thicker. And now I've selected all of these side polygons here. I'm going to make an extrude and delete the inner polygons once they are inside the main mesh, as we'll never see them. Also make an connection in the middle to recreate the shape. Make that connection also there, and connect the vertices, that just so we don't have angles. Yeah, so I delete all these polygons there. No, actually I'm going to inset them slightly bigger than the pole, but I have a small problem at the bottom. I have a vertex I need to weld, so now we inset them, and I delete them. Then make the shift drag the border edges there to the bottom, and weld all these vertices together. I'm going to add a few connections there, also on the top and on the bottom. I'm going to attach that part to the main body. I've just decided that I should do another edge there, another connection there. And I'm going to select all those polygons there and extrude them. And I'll recreate that shape we have from the reference. That's maybe a small metal plate there that's welded to the other part, and that helps hold that pole on the side. So I'm again adding the connections we need. Making sure that I have all the connections I need, and yeah, once it's ready, I'm going to go to the pole and make a connection there, use the chamfer to double that connection, and I'm going to delete those polygons in the middle and cap the ends. You can see on the reference that the same is happening there. Just need to tweak it a bit. Okay, so I've selected my and isolated my part that I just did, the holder for the pole. I'm just going to straighten the back a bit. And I think that it's ready. So I'm just going to attach it to the main body, like so, and create another copy. Okay, so now what I have to do is first take a look if everything's looking alright with mesh smooth applied. And now I'm just going to create another connect around here. I'll make a small chamfer here, position it on the right spot, select all the polygons here, and I'm going to extrude them like so. Add a few connects here. And on the main parts as well. Okay, so now I'm going to make another cylinder in the front view, and I'm going to position it on the proper spot. Okay, move it to the side like so. I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees, position it right in the middle. Okay, so once it's centered properly, I'm going to select the pole and add a connection there, position it right in the middle of the edge, of the center edge of the cylinder. Add a chamfer to double the edge, and I'm going to delete the middle polygons here like so. And now I'm going to attach my cylinder to the pole, and adding a few connections on both sides, just so I have enough edges, because I'm going to delete the top faces and target weld that cylinder with the main body of the pole. Like I'm doing right now. Oops, I selected the wrong one. So yeah, I delete all of these polygons, and now I can go ahead and use the target weld. Like so. It turns out that I have too many edges actually. I don't need all of them, and yeah, I have to fix that one actually to go on the other side. Okay, make that connections there. and as you can see, we have connected the cylinder to the main body. I'm just going to use that top edge there, make a small chamfer, select that edge and bring it down. As you can see, it's looking better this way. I'm going to add a connection there, and now I'm just going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. But this time I'm going to make a small extrusion of the edge there, and I'm going to make all the welds here. Okay, like so. Do the same thing with the edges there. Okay, making the connection. Okay, so now I move these edges there down and make the connections in the middle. Okay, so once we have this cylinder attached fully to the main body, I'm going to add all the detail that it needs. I'm just going to delete the front polygon, use the scale and the move to select that small handle there. Actually, I'm just going to create the middle section of that handle, and after that I'm going to use a new cylinder to recreate the side elements of that handle. Again, selecting connecting here the vertices and making the connections. I need to add a few connections here as well. Okay, like so. So that's looking good. That even looks like it's welded there, which is a good thing. Adds more realism to the scene. So I'm just going to select these polygons at the front, and I'm going to use them as the handles at the side. Once I have it on the right spot, I'm just going to make another copy of it, and I'm going to bring it down like so, and I'm going to weld the vertices in the middle. Okay, like so. Delete the middle edge, we don't need it. And now make the connections at the two ends there. So yeah, that's looking good now. I'm just going to continue making the detail of the pole. Now I'm going to create the detail at the top. So I'll delete the polygon there that I don't need, bring all the vertices at the top a bit down, and start adding the detail. Again, using the same technique we did before. Okay, so once we have the basic shape, connect the end vertices like so, and add the connections we need. Okay, so now I'm going to move everything a bit up, and I've noticed that those bolts are moved to the side. Maybe I forgot to attach them to the main body. Okay, so now I'm just looking around, thinking what should I do. So I decided that I'm going to do that side I don't know, extension of the pole there. I don't know what's its purpose, but yeah, I'm going to create it anyway. Fix the shape of the line better. Don't forget to turn the generate mapping coordinates and real world map scale, because you know, if you don't do that and later on you decide to unwrap and texture the model, you know, it's gonna be a nightmare trying to unwrap that, um, trying to unwrap such a shape. And you know, thankfully the lines and the splines also have a generate mapping coordinates option, and also the uh, generate real world scale maps, which helps that everything will be, you know, in the right scale. So don't forget to turn on such options of the splines whenever you're going to unwrap it later. So after I've done it, I attach it to the pole, and I'm just looking around to see what should I do now for the next part. And yeah, I decided I should do the other pole, which is in the bottom of the top element. Again, I start off with a cylinder, just fixing up the height segments. Okay, so I move it into place, delete the two end cap polygons, and now I'm just going to make the right shape, also the right size for that pole. Yeah, as you can see, I use the scale a bit to create the right size. Now again, scaling down, I'm going to shift drag now those edges there all the way down to that element, and as you can see, we have good positioning of this pole. You know, we're not intersecting anything we don't want to. And now I'm just going to add the final connections for that pole. Okay. When that part is ready, I'm going to attach it to that main element at the top. And now we're going to create the bolts that we've talked in the beginning of the video, but it seems that I forgot about them. We're going to do them now anyway. So yeah, go into the front view, and I'm going to create all the edges I need for that operation here. I'm just moving those edges up, down, and do the same for those. Okay, so now when I have everything ready, I'm going to make a cylinder with auto grid turned on. I'm going to position it on the right spot, and use it to cut the holes we need at the sides there. Okay, so I'm just going to connect the side vertices, and we're going to do the same operations for all of those holes, each of these 4. Okay, continuing making the cuts here. Basically, nothing new for now, but as you know, practice makes the master, so you shouldn't get bored doing some things over and over again, because it will help you get better, do it faster, which counts when you're looking for a job or applying for a project. So such things like that can only help you. Moving on to the final hole here, just going to cut everything along the side of the cylinder. Okay, making the final connections here. Okay, I think that we've got them all. So I'm going to select all of these inner vertices and I'm going to delete them. Select the border edge sides. And now I'm going to create the shape that I need. Okay, so I'm just looking if everything's alright here. Just going to test it with 2 iterations of Mesh Smooth. So yeah, as you can see, it's looking good now. I only need to move the end polygons back a bit because there needs to be enough space for the both heads. And what needs to be done here, I need to add another connection down there. I'm just looking around thinking which bolts should I take for those holes here. I've decided that I'm going to take those bolts there, make a copy of it, detach it and center its pivot. Now I'm going to move the bolt into place and scale it down, of course. Move it in and move it into place and move the final vertices down a bit. And what's left for me to do now is make a few copies. Oops, I forgot to turn the clone to element option. And after I copied all the bolts, I'm just going to connect them, to attach them, sorry. Okay, so now I'm just copying that big bolt there. I'm just going to use it, center the pivot. I'm going to move it down just a bit. I'm going to scale it and fit it into place right there. Okay, so that's looking good. What is left for me to do now is that cable there, so I'm just using a spline. I'm going to go to a vertex mode and change its style, change its type to smooth. Adjust everything a bit, play with the values, with the thickness of that cable, because it needs to be looking normal. It shouldn't be too thick or too thin. So after I've positioned it, I'm just going to cap that edges there. I'm just going to move it just a small bit to the left, delete the end polygons, and now I'm going to attach the bolt and the cable to the main body. I think that's looking good. I'm just going to take a look at my reference once more. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to fix that shading problem there. I'm going to go to edge mode. Yeah, I was thinking that I should weld something here, but no. I'm going to edge mode, ring select those edges, and sliding the new connection there to the object as close as possible. And as you can see now, the end result is looking good. So yeah, this will be for this video. Don't forget to save your project, and I'll see you in the next one when we're going to continue with the high poly modeling. Okay, bye bye guys.